Hello, today we're going to be looking at this thing. This is Yuri Suzuki's Vocoder Plus Roland VP 330. Ooh. Why have I got this? Well, Mitch Hack Modular last week at the museum repaired this for Yuri Suzuki and left it at the museum for a couple of days. I've heard a lot about these vocoders but never got to use one, so I gave it a go and went, ooh. So sorry Yuri, doing a video on this. There's also a link below where Mitch talks about the repairs that he had to do on this. There were a few bits and bobs wrong with it. Anyway, I'm doing a video today because I was very surprised about how nice this actually sounds. Well, compared to the Korg VC10 that I've got, which is at the museum and you could use it as much as you like over there. The information about this museum is not obsolete, is below. Anyway, whilst I consider the Korg VC10 to be quite a muddy sounding vocoder, you can't really get the clarity out of the voices. This one.
It's very clear, you can understand exactly what I'm saying, don't you? Wow, 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 wow. I'm a robot, I'm a robot, I'm a big scary robot, a very big scary robot. Oh no, I'm a scary robot. Oh yeah, yeah, wow.
Also, another thing is, this is a direct feed, you can mix in the direct feed. Maybe it's a habit I've picked up, but I always try and sound like a Simpsons character when I'm talking in the vocoder to make the most of all of the filters.
So it sounds like this.
It sounds like this.
It sounds like this. Brokey, brokey, brokey.
Boogie woogie. Instead of
Boogie woogie, boogie woogie,
boogie woogie,
boogie woogie.
boogie woogie. The thing that the Vocoder Plus has, which I'm guessing why it's called the Vocoder Plus, is it's also got the carrier string section available to play as an instrument in itself. So we've got the strings. Not only that, it's also got a human voice, which actually sounds pretty human voicey. We've got the male on the lower half of the keyboard. Sounds like Stephen Hawkins behind me or something. But because it's actually a split keyboard, you could go for the upper on the string and only the lower on the human voice. So we turn the attack on the string high and then, so we're going for the top here like this. Also, it has a cancelling effect, so it's not like a proper polyphonic kind of movement of notes. So that means it cancels the notes before, so you don't have them overlapping and muddying them up, which is cool for me because I'm quite a polyphonic one note at a time kind of player, so now I can play. But if you don't want that to happen, you've got to kind of like not stop playing the notes. If the notes are overlapping, then it won't happen, which is pretty cool, I feel. And this sound section with the filters on it is also the carrier frequency for the vocoder, so
Gonna boogie in the house tonight, tonight, tonight. Wow, wow, wow.
Anyway, I'm working on my next music album project, and the first 2 songs from that went out last week. One of them was called Hungry Vultures. The other one was called Commotion. In fact, in 4 weeks' time, there's another 2 coming out. In fact, the instrumentals for both of those are already available over on my Patreon. One of them actually has 12 key changes, which is a bit weird, but you know, you'll see more about that as time goes on. But I'm going to set up the riff for the Hungry Vultures as a background for this.
Also, yeah, I forgot. Thinking practically this probably needed to go over there instead of bouncing backwards and forwards. But
Anyway, I should probably take this back to the museum so Hack Modular can give it back to Yuri. Toodly-doo.